Okay, so about when did you work downtown?
I worked downtown from 1987 up until I was giving birth to you.
So what were your job title or titles throughout your job, or did it stay the same?
I originally was a part-time secretary and then still babysitting and became a full-time secretary shortly after that, an office manager and paralegal, anything to do with the law field.
Okay. Were you educated in law at all, or?
No, I received all of my experience just part-time and then working.
Yeah, that's working fine. You don't have to worry about it. Um, can you give a short description of what you did day to day at your jobs?
When I was fully involved full-time, I did a lot of paralegal work, office management, because we owned a floor of a building, in charge of everything, office equipment, etc. And just basically gave seminars to law professionals and other things like that.
Okay. So, in general, did you have a good life when you worked? Was it a good job? Was it not too stressing or anything like that?
It was not stressing at all because it was a 9 to 5 job and I had my life outside of that, which is exactly what I wanted.
So, was it more enjoyable working or being a stay-at-home mom?
It was more enjoyable staying at home to see every day of your life.
So, do you miss the money that you could have made by working?
Money is always nice, but when we decided one of us would stay home with you, I gave up my job, and it just made us more economical. And there are a lot of things that we didn't need to spend money on, and that's how we make it now.
What made you decide to give up your job instead of Dad? You don't know the answer to that, or?
Well, at the time, I was the one getting out of the hospital with you. It made more sense.
Do you think people would have that same common sense approach when it comes to it nowadays?
No, because nowadays you cannot survive in a household with children without 2 incomes because the cost of living is so much higher.
So, was it a hard decision to quit your job to raise me?
No, not at all. I was happy to do that.
Were there, or let me go to the next question. What were the hardest or most annoying people you had to deal with in your job? And were those people people you had to deal with on a day-to-day basis?
Most of the people on a day-to-day basis were clients and court people, insurance companies. They were fine. It was coworkers that were younger that loved to be on the internet and not do their jobs. That was most annoying.
It seems like that would even, I think you would have a even worse job nowadays, or a even worse, job nowadays, because that's even more of a thing, way more of a thing now than it was then.
Well, back then, it was computer access. Now everybody has their phone, and friends of mine who still are in the same job, that is their biggest complaint. It ended.
Yeah. No, it didn't. It's still going.
It missed my last word.
It's fine. Were there advantages or disadvantages of being a woman in your line of work? If so, what were they?
No, not really. There were male law clerks, but most of the secretarial staff and other office management were women.
nowadays it's common to say that secretaries are like being used by their male coworkers. Would you say that you ever really felt used as in your line of work, or is that less of a thing you would worry about?
That's less of a thing. We were just there to provide support and do our jobs. Get coffee on occasion for clients, but nothing out of the ordinary. I didn't have to pick up my boss's dry cleaning or anything.
So that's a myth.
No, there were people who did that. But that was their choice.
Okay. Well, I think that's good for this.